I know that there's a great matchup tonight. I'm excited about a lot of things, including hammering the Astros again and who's the next to get in line to hammer the Astros and whether the Yankees feel comfortable enough to hammer. But do you just want to start this entire show by hammering the panic button for Leafs Nation?
If I can find it, because last time we brought this up, I had my issues.
Yeah, now it does. There's a bunch of buttons.
It says panic. Got it. I think Leaf fans hit this in the first period last night. I don't know if they need this right now.
They might have hit it in the third period in Buffalo.
Yep. Or the second. The Leafs. Go. That's it.
That's it?
No, I got a few more things. They did lose last night. They've dropped 6 of their last 9 games.
Slow down. I got a soundtrack for
Go
you.
ahead. Give me a little something here. 21 games left in their season. They get the Pens again tomorrow night at home. They go to Tampa next Tuesday. Then next Thursday. Can you hear me? Next Thursday, they go to Florida, where it's a battle for third in the Atlantic in front of 50 fans in Sunrise.
No, there'll be more because the Leafs are there.
Hit me again. You're right. Hit me. 100 fans in Sunrise when the Leafs and the Snowbirds congregate. We're also days away from the trade deadline. Don't know if you heard. Some things need to be fixed in Leafs land, Tim. Can this, in fact, easy question, be fixed?
Fixed.
I use the word fixed.
Can this be fixed?
Fixed.
Man, whatever the hell that was last night in Pittsburgh was worse than being the fire hydrant at the Westminster Dog Show. You add the insult of whatever in the good name of Drake Barahowski that was early on in Pittsburgh to the third period in Buffalo, and you have got full-blown panic and a good internal look at what the Leafs actually have. But before, and I know this is going to go on, I can feel Twitter and I can feel people moving towards their Twitter machines before anyone accuses us of going too far with this conversation or suggests in any way, shape, or form, Sid Sixero, that we are overreacting to whatever this is going to be over the next little while. Here is head coach Sheldon Keefe going in last night with perhaps his most damning stuff since taking over the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, it looks like the process that we want to go through is to just get embarrassed enough to the point where we just really look in the mirror and recognize what's required for us to be able to compete at a high level at this stage of the season.
Get embarrassed enough. All right, I can feel you. Tim and Sid going too hard. Keefe number 2. This on the one thing that went wrong. One thing. Right, Sheldon? One thing?
It's a different issue again today. We've talked about that. It's been a little bit different each night. So if you had special teams on your bingo card of things that are hurting our group, then you're happy today and get that one filled. But I think ultimately, as we look at the different things, whether it's giving up leads in the third period a couple weeks ago or getting scored on early on home ice, or today, special teams or what have you. I think the common denominator is just the overall urgency and competitiveness of the group. I mean, special teams are the issue today, but we get a power play early in the game. We get a chance to take a hold of the game on the road against a very good team, and we're just not there. They're just they're competing at a higher level than we are, and then they get their chance and make it pretty clear about what the difference is.
All right, calm down, Sixero. You're out of control, all right?
I haven't said anything yet.
Just calm down.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't have to raise your voice, okay? Just relax.
I have no idea what this meant. Be
easy. I know it's too much. Jake Muzzin forced into a leadership role. Mirrors the coach. Maybe a step further. Calm down. Sid.
I'm still thinking about that story from France you were talking about.
Jake Muzzin. Num.
Take a bite out of this.
We got to find the urgency, the passion, the love of the game, the love to compete for each other. All that needs to come. I don't know why it's not there. Responding the right way, getting mad at yourself for not performing the right way.
Sid, stop. They're already dead. Please.
I haven't said a word.
Sid, relax.
I have not said anything during
Take it
this show.
easy. You always do this. You get really upset and you start yelling and screaming about what they need to do. Take it easy. 12 to 24 hours can often add to sobering thought. What's the saying? Like, wait 24 hours after getting mad or
Write
reacting?
the angry email. Don't send it. Come in the next day and send it to like more people you were expecting to send it to. Is that the saying?
I think it's wait 24 hours before doing any of that.
Okay, but then do
and
it
if
anyway.
it doesn't bother you a day later, it's probably not that important.
Yeah,
right? That's the idea.
I usually stay bothered a day later.
Mitch Marner with a day to let it marinate. Here's Mitch today.
We get down these games early, and then, I think we just give up and we leave our goalie out to dry. Without our goalies, these last couple of games, it could have been way more than 5 goals. So, just got to make sure we get our compete level up. We need to be way better. We all know we have the skill, but we don't have the work ethic every single night and every single guy buying in. So, skill only takes you so far, and then, the work ethic takes you to a whole nother level. So, like I said, that's something that we need to be consistently better with, and we owe it to ourselves and owe it to each other in this room.
Okay, got embarrassed enough to the point where we look in the mirror and recognize what's required of us to be able to compete at a high level. Sheldon Keefe. That's February 18th, by the way. February 18th. How many 60 games in this season?
They got 21 left, the Leafs.
So 61. We've got to be better. That's unacceptable. We have to find the urgency and passion. Again, February 18th. You want a February 19th. Mitch Marner. We know we need to change our work ethic. How bad is it? Not Habs bad? Unsalvageable bad? Where are we?
Where are we?
How bad is it, Doc?
How bad is it? They are not making the playoffs. They're not. You know why they're not?
I've heard you say this before, so
This
please
is
tell
really
me.
simple. I have been pretty annoyed at what I've heard all day today and most of what I heard last night. This is not complicated with this group. Here's why the Toronto Maple Leafs are not making the playoffs. Because they don't want that smoke like that. They don't want it as much as other teams. They don't.
I felt like you tried to go kids there, and you kind of missed it.
I'm not trying to go kids, but hey, TikTok, they don't want to make the playoffs.
Hello, fellow kids. They don't want that smoke like that.
They don't want the smoke like
And
that.
the smoke and the like that smoke.
All right? Listen, influencers, Chance the Rapper, they don't want the smoke like that.
Sorry. I didn't mean to slow you down.
You're not slowing me down. I got an hour. They like it easy.
Hour 45.
Like I've been saying for the entire year and most years before that. They like it easy. They thought Sunday against Buffalo was going to be easy. And they played like it. Last night they see Malkin leave. You and I are sitting here watching Malkin leave pregame. It was an illness. The second, and not all of them don't want it. A couple guys on the team want it. Watch them play. You can see which guys want it. But 85% of the roster really doesn't want it that bad. They see Malkin leave the ice. We got an easy night. We respect Crosby, but Malkin's gone. We got an easy night. Mentally, most of those guys got in that space. This is not complicated. This is not complicated. And when they miss the playoffs on April 5th and for the next 3 weeks, watch the grams of the kids. They're going to be really torn up they're not in the playoffs. You think they want Tampa right now? You think they want Boston right now, these kids? Making $15, $16 million this season. You think they want that in the first round of the playoffs? Let's say they get in. This team doesn't want it like that. It's not built like that. They got a couple guys on the roster. That's why Muzzin's going to get re-signed. Not many more like that. And it's obvious with every passing period that goes on as we end this campaign. They're going to lose tomorrow night. They're going to get smoked down in Tampa next Tuesday. They're going to get their ass handed to them next Thursday in Florida in the biggest game of their season because they're not wired to win because you paid them all for nothing. Not one single thing on their resume demanded $15 to $16 million a year. Nothing. Tavares, who I'm in love with, has one playoff win in his life. One playoff series win in his life at this level. He got 16. This team doesn't want it like that. The second they're down, oh, okay, we got to go to the middle of the ice to try and kill this deficit? Yeah, I'm going to stay out here. Nylander is going to stay outside. He's going to find Matthews on the outside of the other side of the ice, and they're going to try and peel back a 3-0 deficit. This team's a joke. This team is an absolute joke. And Sheldon Keefe needs to watch himself a little bit. Sheldon Keefe's been an NHL head coach 8 minutes. And if Mike Babcock would talk about his team like that, he'd get destroyed. The substitute teacher came in and everyone felt good for about 4 weeks. I have big issues with Sheldon Keefe talking the way he talked last night about that group.
You don't think that Mike Babcock did that early? You don't think that Mike Babcock did that often? Listen.
But he took heat for it. That's my point.
No, he took heat at the end for it. At the start, it was the tough coach teaching these young kids how to play. This is the part of this that I'll completely agree with because I don't want to hear this, this back-to-back against a team like the Pittsburgh Penguins with the work ethic of a Sidney Crosby and on down through the lineup can teach this young Leafs team how to win. If you didn't learn from the misery provided by the Boston Bruins in each of the last 2 rounds on how to do the little things that make you win hockey games when they matter most, you may never get it. And that, to me, would be the most concerning part for Leaf fans, is that a bunch of guys that went through this haven't learned yet and are going to learn. And I don't give a bleep what a coach says. If you know that's the problem, then preach to the problem. But Sheldon Keefe did not hold back. And that's why you're not holding back. It's the same thing. They're seeing the same things. This might be a compliment to you, so don't get all upset.
And thank you for calling me thin.
You and Sheldon Keefe might be seeing the same thing, and that's the same problem that has been with this team throughout. And I don't know how many times you have to say it. Fan base is screaming, give us a defenseman, give us some grit. No, you went out and got Dennis Mulligan today. Right?
Oh, let's talk about that.
Right?
Thank you.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
I kind of
give me a couple more seconds here.
Okay, go ahead. Let's circle back on that.
I get it that stats are like Katy Perry. They show a lot, but they don't show everything. But this is a super stat. No team's ever won the Stanley Cup when finishing lower than 20th in the league in goals against average. Do you know where the Leafs rank right now in goals against average?
I'm going to guess below 20th in the league.
27th in the National Hockey League. And you're going to talk about expectations and what you want to be and where you should be and go out and get another offensively gifted guy because he played with Austin Matthews in Zurich? Like, what are we talking about here? It's simple. It's been simple. They're not good enough defensively. I don't care what goalie's in there. I don't care if it's Freddie Anderson. I don't care if it's Jack Campbell. I agree with almost everything that you said, except for one.
Shoot.
I'll take issue with the $16 million thing because I do it with every sport. Sometimes you have to have patience. The last time I looked, Matthews is 22. He's got 43 goals, right? Nylander's 23. Marner's 22. Morgan Riley's 25. You keep bringing up the paid too early stuff, and I agree to a certain point. But Alexander Ovechkin was paid in 2008. And Alexander Ovechkin took 10 years from getting paid in 2008 to winning his Stanley Cup in 2018. Is it not still a success, even though it took 10 years for it to come to fruition?
It was a success. What the Capitals didn't do, though, was pay 4 guys like Alexander Ovechkin. They paid Alexander Ovechkin. William Nylander's making $9 million. William Nylander and Sidney Crosby are making the same amount of money this year. Soak that one in. They're making the same money. Ovechkin got paid early and had to prove himself. You are correct. The Leafs took their core 4, technically, and paid them all like Ovechkin. And you have no dimes and nickels for most other dudes. Hopefully they re-sign Muzzin. I like Muzzin. But you really don't have any wiggle room with anyone else unless Andreas Janssen is out for 6 months, which we didn't even get to yet. He's gone 6 months after knee surgery today. So they have an extra $3 million to spend.
Okay, but stop bringing up what they're getting paid now.
But it's all relevant. You don't think that's relevant?
No,
that's hugely relevant.
But is it about that they're getting paid $16 million this year, or is it about their cap number?
Both. I think it's both. Like, how do you separate the two? Not only does it kill you against the cap for 4 guys to be slightly underperforming, and not offensively. I understand the numbers Nylander's put up. I understand the numbers Matthews has put up. But if you know anything about hockey, there's more aspects to the game than that. And if you watched last night, you understand there's more aspects to the game than that. So you have 4 guys who aren't playing complete hockey, making that kind of money. You have no wiggle room. 0. You're lucky you got Jack Campbell the way you got him. And you're lucky that I don't want to say you're lucky you guys out 6 months.
$5 million. You're paying Morgan
But $5
Riley.
million isn't nuts.
And they've got cap space. So when you ask me, they fix it. Yeah, if you think that someone's going to be on LTIR for the rest of the season, and if it's a wink, wink, and a nudge, nudge, who cares? You can go out and get a Matt Dumba.
If it's that.
So that's wiggle room.
If it's that. Morgan Riley's coming back. So that money's coming back eventually. You have about $3 million with Janssen now out. It's tight. Some money will have to leave in a deal like that. That's my only point here. My point is you have just paid. If you pay Ovechkin and then give yourself room, that's one thing. That's not what happened here. What happened here is everyone got paid like Ovechkin.
But what you're saying is there's no patience for these guys to learn this. And what I'm telling you is that Ovechkin took 10 years to learn it. He went away for a while. Like, we remember that. I know that 30 goals for most people is not going away. But Alexander Ovechkin got paid and then had a little fun, right? We remember those years. Yeah. But when you're in the middle of it, like the Leafs are right now, there tends to be panic. And sometimes you can preach patience while still saying you guys aren't good enough.
Right.
To lollygag around and act like your blank goals are good enough. Because they're not when you're 27th in the league in goals against. And that's not just defense. Yeah. That's not just goaltending. That's everybody.
And again, Frederik Andersen has an .871 save percentage in his last 12 games. Everyone has struggled here to get to this point.
Well, they can go out and get Alec Martinez. Wait, no, they can't.
No, they can't.
As we suggested would happen yesterday,
where did he
was
go?
Dealt to Vegas. 2 second-round picks got you Alec Martinez, by the way, 6-0. So your wiggle room, again, you don't have to give up money going in.
No, but if you have second-round picks, if you have 2 second-round picks,
correct.
Leafs are getting a little thin in terms of the next couple of drafts with how many picks they can trade.
I would suggest to you, and I don't know if this is a problem that you deal with at the deadline or this is a problem that you sit down with everybody and you deal with in the offseason. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Dubas, Brendan Shanahan, and the Leafs management don't look at the last little while and say, you know what? There's no quick fix here. We got to do this the right way.